good morning, YouTube. How we doing this bright and early morning? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go for 2 hours. We 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 need to come hard before the the inevitable great deletion. What do you mean by that? YouTube, when you hit that 1 year mark, I can't remember what my date is, but I'll know when I start losing it. Can't remember my 1 year deletion, and that's when it starts to happen. Trying and staying relevant and trying and staying constant, trying and staying on track. Each day, each week is an experience to behold. It's an experience. But I thought I'd come on early today because the plain fact is I'm a little tired. And, getting and talking, it helps. It helps to move me along. It helps me to get down the road. It helps me to get everything in perspective. Uh, the other day, the the company that I deal with for my Toro, um, the Toro mower that I'm trying to put back together, someone had just started pulling parts off of it to literally, they used it as a parts machine, and I'm literally putting the parts back on it. And they called me and told me that one screw is, they discontinued the screw. Well, I'm hoping it's something that I can find. I'm hoping it's something that I can replicate either online or through Home Depot, Lowe's, or one of these other tool places, or one of the tractor supply stores and stuff like that. They the fun and the intriguing part of that is, when you don't know what you're doing, but you're learning. This is really literally how a lot of people have learned how to do auto repair. A lot of people learn how to fix trucks. A lot of farmers had to, go back and work on their heavy equipment because sending it out would literally have cost them, an arm and a leg. You know, um, that's something that I wish I would figured out a long time ago about working on cars, figuring out the basics, figuring out the little ins and outs, so that I could have been better prepared. You know, the things we talk about, and and it's sad. It's really sad because a lot of times it's the conversation is us, meaning men, against them, meaning women, and you can hear it in all of these low level, and I'm not trying to be mean, but lower than, well, you hear it all over, even in the higher level. So and it's heartbreaking because we, as much as you hear, I can do better by myself. We weren't meant to be alone. When a lot of prisons is taken away the solitary confinement because we were never meant to be alone. We were and are communal beings. Even you don't realize that you guys have it better than I do, even daily. Even though you're at work, even though you're at play, you're around other human beings. I spend 99% of my time on the road alone. I'm by myself, alone. Yeah, yes, I can watch videos and on the phone, but I'm alone. But if you notice that when you walk out, when you're in public, you're around other people. That energy is absorbed into you. That you're around. You're not alone. But when you're in the situation like me, I'm alone all the time. Sometimes it gets hard. Like right now, I haven't really had a chance to really conversate with my wife at night because I got to get going, got to get to sleep, got to get to the next load. I'm trying to get back into now. I'm on another dedicated route that they ain't playing, they ain't joking, and I'm you know what? I'm all for it, especially right now, especially because of the situations where there's no lows, there's low freight. Like, I was on the other one, and my other dedicated route is slowed down. There's no freight, so now I actually have freight. I'm like a day or two behind. Not of my fault, but I'm still a day or two behind. But I'm all for it because it gives my brain focus. It gives me, time to get to the next load. And I was reminded, I remember, few people, because everything, and it's a sad, and again, I go back to this. It's sad that the narrative is this: all men cheat. Don't matter, no matter what. All men cheat. You know, ladies, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's done something. Everybody's done some dirt. I'm not gonna say that in there, but who got time for that mess when you're trying to make money? All truckers, they got women in every whatever. Who got time for that? You know what? I don't know if I had time for it when I was younger. Nobody's got time for that foolishness. I'm finally have time for the positive things. Like it's hilarious that I get these people, sir. We're calling you to tell you that the one screw that you ordered, uh, we don't have. So that's but that's okay because it was so funny. I was telling him I don't know what I'm doing anyway. But hopefully I'll be able to figure it out without that missing screw. Hopefully I'll be able to get it fixed and or operational without that. Because eventually I'm gonna play with it for a little while, and then I'm gonna sell it. Depending on how good I can get it, well, depending on how much I'm gonna sell it. Excuse me. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. I put some stuff in my stomach. Boy, if I could get rid of this antacid, I would be in seventh heaven. But it is what it is. Um, but I look forward to bringing the stuff from my makeshift lever. I can't wait to do that one. Bringing the stuff from my makeshift lever and having that ready for the next the next thing, the next movement, the next whatever. And I can't wait. But it's funny, like we got one guy on these YouTube streets. We see he does what he does for therapy, and I understand where he's coming from because you know if you was in combat, there's stuff that you can't erase from your body, you can't erase from your mind. Working on these small engines in in hopeless situations, like my my aerator. I just knew, I just knew, I knew it was hopeless. I just knew it was hopeless, but I didn't give up. I don't believe I'm tearing up. I didn't give up, and it's like I swear I thought I swear I could feel my father looking down on me because you want you want to make your parents. Hey, Mike, I started a little early. You want, as a child, you want to make your parents proud. And a lot of times, my working on these engines, I wish my father was around to see me figure things out. With that, that I have a toolbox and I have a whole bunch of tools and a whole bunch of equipment. I wish he was here to see me succeed. I don't have any regrets, and the part of that is that in my way I apologized before he passed. I made my peace with him, but it seems like when I'm working on little its and bits and stuff like that, um, I just want him to see. I pray that he sees, or his spirit sees that I'm trying. It's not for anything else, but it's something to what's the word I'm looking for? It's therapy. This getting up every morning, and I could have given up. I could have given up, but staying dedicated, talking things out. We started with two people, three people, me, Mike, and Charles. Charles, man, anything that man wants, he gets from me because he has been my cheering section for this, and it's funny when we first started, he would cuss me out. Hey, mother effer, you don't have you don't have an empty you don't do not have blank air because you get used to what do I do? What I got nothing. But that was therapy because we all need friends and we need to find out who our real friends are. You know what? All Everybody that says they're your friend ain't ain't really your friend. You know what I mean? Everybody that says they're they f with you don't really f with you, and that's sad. But you have to look at the you have to look at the situations. You have to look at the the understandings. You have to look at what is you know what what is the end result. You know, I it just reminded me. I'm gonna order the last times I ordered for the aerator were the wrong size. I got a refund on that. But now I got to go. I found another place. I got to try it again. So I think I'm gonna place an order for whatever the minimum is. I think it's like three. If I can get the right times, I can get that stuff going and maybe sell this thing sooner. First of all, I want to get it working. Then we're gonna work on selling it and stuff like that. Yeah, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm an hour early. The hard thing about going down into Florida, man, yo, these highways are dark. I got to get used to it. It's an experience, boy. It's an experience. Um, but I gotta get used to it again. I've had to come down here a lot of times, but I learned I want to be an early morning. Um, I want to be an early morning driver so I can get done early. I'm gonna have enough hours to get this load, get it in there, turn around and start heading north. I'm not gonna make it to the next load till tomorrow, but I mean, sorry, I gotta legally shut it down and not stress myself out. But I gotta do it I'm make sure I do it the right way and the positive way, and just keep pushing, forward. Um, Winter's coming. Just like the seasons change. You know, we have to, and you have to. It's so funny. I'm going to change subject. You see how far I'm driving? I haven't even the place where um, the road where I get off to go to the auction to pick up this stuff. I'm 16 miles from that turn to go 30 miles down a side road to get to the auction, the farm auction where I get those mowers. It's way the hell down. And I thought I passed it. I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't even passed it yet. And I'm like, this is how far I drive from in my personal car. I'm in an 18 wheeler, and I never realized, wait a minute, I ain't even got close to it yet. And I'll be cracking myself up. The only thing I think I'm going to be looking for um, this time around is it's I'm gonna be looking for a salvaged top dresser in the auction. That's kind of or anything salvaged, but I'm gonna be looking for a salvaged top dresser, and I don't know, but I'm intrigued by it. I'm gonna be looking for one of them, and it's a little bit too big for my trailer, but I don't care. That's what I want. But I'm not going. At the most, I'll probably bid 200 to 300 at the most, and that's really as far as I'm gonna go with it. But that's something I've been thinking about. I like to get a top dresser and figure out figure it out. But we'll see. We shall see. Hopefully, it'll be something simple to fix. Hopefully, but I think that's the last thing that I want. But I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. But how you doing there, Mike? I knew you would see it because you a night owl. So most folks that hang out at night, you find that peace. I, I'm still, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it. But there's I think it was that sifting me some soil sheep. They'll go. They just go. Like I'll wake up for a minute, check YouTube, and it'd be like 2 or 3 in the morning. They'll be going and just relaxing and not worrying about it, not stressing about it. And I'm like, man, I want to be like that. I wish I could be like that. You know. But again, that's part of figuring out. That's part of getting the name of the game. Uh, a part and being able to go with the flow because I don't know why I'm still pushing forward. Normally, I don't know if I would have given up or whatever because it's the part of trying to get to the next level because YouTube uses they'll push you because they know you're not monetized. They'll push you to the forefront. Like I got like that was the highest I ever got, 55,000 views on the short. I ain't never had that before. But it's exciting to see that it's possible. That's why like I put different music on my shorts. Um, I'm not really into country music, but being a truck driver and normally this is a Caucasian entity. You got a lot of black folks driving, but the old school is the country music, and I got a lot on that. So just trying to find the right music to get those views is what I'm looking. It's what I'm trying to figure out. So it's something new each and every time. Uh, like now it's like just like I'll see how he stay up all night. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go to bed. Nah, but I gotta get this down the road. I see dollar signs. That's one thing about when driving. One thing about you know, being a trucker, hey, whatever. I gotta make it to the next. I gotta make it to the next one. Oh man, you can't see it, but on that car that trailer just passed had some big old rims on them on those two cars. It just reminded me. Well, I'm gonna have to look around because I follow some people that do that. They be having big old 24s and big old the the tire costs as much as the rim. Yeah, like nah, man. I just started putting on my pickup truck. I just started putting tires on there. The reason behind that is because I'm only home once a month, so they really weren't worn down. They just started because they old. One of the tires just just gave up the ghost because of the old. The metal in it and it had a bubble. And I'm like, man, this is the first time I had to buy some tires. But it's just a part of it. just a part of who, it's just a part of being there, and being a part of it, and understanding the what was it the little ins and outs. They have a I seen a mower on there that, I would love to get, but it's just so expensive, and also I don't have the room. It's called a Steiner. It's like it's a mini tractor, but it has all of these attachments that go on the front of it. You can have a I don't know what they call it. It's you can just the blades are thick as heck, and it's like a rough cut. It's a rough cut. Then they got a finer cut. They have an attachment that you could grind down tree stumps. They have an attachment where you can make it's three real mowers on the front. They have an attachment. It's like a rake, or they've got a skid steer attachment. It's all of this stuff, man. But the uh, it starts out 30, 40 thousand dollars, and I'm delusional thinking that I can afford something like that. But that's one of the things that they're selling at the auction. And I mean, I'm like seriously delusional to see if I could do it. But what it is it's made for if you're all on the interstate and you see these big sloping hills and stuff like that. It's made to drive on stuff like that. They have double wheels. It's made to if you drop in muddy terrain that it'll float and there's bigger and better traction. It's made to do all kind of stuff, but it's so expensive. And again, I'm delusional to think if I could own one of them, man, and my yard is too small. It's way too small to do something like that. But it's I think it'd be fun. I think it is. I would love to try it, and that's why, like, what I'm going to do. Um, they have this big. This is content. I'm letting you know right now. They have this big lawn lawn crafters, lawn um, scaping, landscaping professional expo in Kentucky, and I plan to go next year. To see some of the, it's at the expo in Kentucky, and I plan to go. And the reason why I'm going because they have like a certain area which is it's surrounded by hay, and it's like an obstacle course where they'll let you drive some of this professional stuff. So I am definitely going up there. So because I'm not gonna buy nothing. You could buy small stuff like you know small things because they sell them. But I'm gonna get up there and I want to drive some of the professional stuff to see if I really want it or not. I want to stand on more. I want to get on one and drive one and see how it handles if it's worth spending the money to drive something like that. You know what I mean? Um, I just want to try them out, and then that'll give me a reason to go up there to get some fence posts from my neighbor. I look for Menards because that's where they are. They're in Kentucky. Because I don't think I'll be up there anytime soon because I'm on this dedicated route. But that's something that I want to look for, and I'll be doing videos and content for that. That's going to be part of the channel. So that's something that I'll be looking for in the future. Also, we're going on a cruise We're going on a cruise in January, so we're definitely going to be doing a week long live from the cruise ship. That is that is a definite. So that's something to look forward to. Um, we're trying to stay, in the mix, in relevant, but also I'm trying to get some positive things. Um, Again, yes, I don't mind talking about this, negative stuff, but sometimes you just want to even it out with something positive. And the sad part is, I go back to what I said earlier. It's sad that we have such a divide between the men and women. Instead of just taking responsibility. If you notice, I take responsibility. I need to start taking more because a lot of this stuff I didn't know. I don't know. That's why I don't talk about Israel and Palestine because they're both wrong. They're both wrong. But two wrongs don't make a right either, or two rights don't make, I don't know, whatever. But I don't talk about that stuff because they're both wrong. You know, um, I'm not a power to the people person, but I'm not stupid either. I know the degradation of our people. I know the degradation of things that are going on, but I try to stay positive. I don't look at everybody as the enemy, but a lot of them are. You know what I mean? But we got to figure that out. But see, and that's the thing. When you have that, when you have that personality, people, when you show kindness and you show enthusiasm, they don't look at you like other people look at you. Other bigoted people that have a mindset that everybody is so screwed up. Case in point, I would have never been able to order all this stuff unless this one man at this shop that works on huge lawn care equipment didn't take the time and see how enthused I was to trying to figure out how to do this and how to do that. That he sat down, I sat down at his desk and he wrote everything down for me. This is all the stuff you're gonna need. Do you see what I'm saying? He said, this is all the stuff you're gonna need. And he seen the when I said when we had to walk past where they repaired stuff. He said, I wish you knew more. I'd hire because I need more workers. Because I was like, cool, awesome. Look at all the equipment. This is cool. This is awesome. You know, when you that's probably why I keep buying the stuff because I like trucking. I do. Don't get me wrong. But in the next few years, I need to start making a transition. I need to start making a transition to maybe being home on the weekends or whatever. Um, then I get some magnets from a pickup truck. Uh, can't stop walking, but love mowing, lawn care. It'll be lawn care. See if I can get some business and grow that into something, and hopefully it becomes it becomes something. You know what I mean? And then, if it becomes something, I'd have to rent a storage shed, get a bigger trailer, bigger pickup. I don't want a bigger pickup truck, and you know, start that lawn care business that I'm longing to do. But I'm not going to, you know, disgrace my wife by saying I want to start a business, and then she has to, have the the whole, um, you know, you know, the whole load. No, no, I've got to pay my bills. And when I speak to them, said, look, I got this much. Do you think we should put that on the next cruise? We got a cruise coming up in July, and I'm going to ask you, do you think we need to put that on the next cruise? So, because it's like these cruise ships, these cruises that I do, it's like a layaway. It's like a Kmart or Walmart layaway. I put some money down for it weeks ago, a year ago, and pay when I can. And that's how that's how I'm able to afford these cruises. I'm able to afford it. The last few I just threw on credit cards and gotten out of the normal routine that I used to do before COVID. I would put $50 here, $25 there, and I done got out of the routine. But now, guess what? I'm getting back in the routine of paying for these cruises. So when I stop on my break later on this morning, probably after the live, when I stop on my break, I'm going to there's some nuts and bolts that I want to replace. They're not, but it'd be more shinier. I want to replace on my aerator, and then I'm gonna put in for the tines. But then I'm gonna ask it, I put money down on these cruises. And she probably, yeah, okay, go ahead. All right, let's do it. You know what I mean? And see, that's it's called showing respect. Um, we have we have situations where we, well, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do that. How's that working for you? You know what I'm saying? How's that working for you? A lot of times, you know, I don't know where I'm going with it, so I'll figure it out. But a lot of times, we 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 think we know what we're doing, and the consequences remind us that, wait a minute, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I shouldn't have did that. I really shouldn't have did that. But instead of manning up or women or I don't know if that's a word, woman up, we don't. We just double down and say, yeah, I did it. And I'm watching and on these TikTok videos, and first of all, if you started filming me while we having a really hard talk or a argument, you're gonna have to get that phone replaced because I'm smacking it out of your hand. The whole world don't need the whole world don't need to know our business. That's not content. That's you trying to humiliate me and embarrass me. So I think half the time when you see that stuff, now that can't be true. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and say such harsh words. Ain't nobody gonna. It can't be. It can't. It cannot be. That can't be true. Ain't nobody gonna say such harsh words and they know they being recorded. Like there was an example. There was one lady that it was on TikTok. So, and I know it just can't be true. She says, she she didn't tell her husband that she got her tubes tied. She didn't want to have no more kids. And the guy was upset. And he's filming her. He said, "But I wanted to have a kid. You already have a kid. I wanted to have a kid." First of all, it's her body. You can't deny that. But she should have said something before they got married. Because I remember talking to somebody years ago that had enough and said, "No, I'm not having no more kids by no daggone body." So I understand the thought process. But she was like, "Do what you gotta do, leave me, whatever." And there was, you could see there was no feeling, there was no pulse in that person, how cold hearted it was. And I was like, this can't be for real. This can't, but maybe it is. I literally when when I woke up right before I left the rest area and was getting down the road. I literally was I listened to these TikTok Reddit stories. Oh my God, it's addicting. And I'm always talking about staying positive, but the negative stuff, it just draws me in. And half the time it's about a woman cheating on a dude. And half the time, you see, that was the conversation that all men cheat. Well, you know what? And I hate to be a bearer of bad news. If I say that, I'm all women cheat, but women cheat, but they just do it a whole lot better than we do. And 9 times out of 10, if a woman is unfaithful to you, 9 times out of 10, the only way you're gonna find out is by a freak accident. And that's sad. It's so sad. It'll be a freak accident that you find out. Or someone feels so sorry for you, say, and come and tell you. And that's so sad because you putting your trust in these people. Everybody ain't looking to lay with everybody. You know what I mean? Excuse me for 1 second. I always got something in my throat early in the morning. Always got something in my throat. But see, that's what kind of brought me to what I wanted to talk about today. Um, good morning, Pete. How you doing? What I wanted to talk about today. Um, we, I'm gonna start with this because Charles sent me a thing. Thanksgiving is coming up here in the United States because we got some folks that are in different countries, Canada. um, but the conversation, it was like a written conversation where the wife is Thanksgiving and a husband and wife are they're hosting Thanksgiving dinner. And I don't know how you guys grew up, but we when we grew up, we had there was two tables, the adult table and the children's table. Y'all remember that? Um, and it was a big deal to when you finally moved from the adult table, no, from the children's table to the adult table. It was finally time that you finally sat at the adult table to have Thanksgiving dinner. But the wife had mentioned that her parents was coming, and it was a family tradition that her father sat at the head of the table and said the grace, and that was the conversation. Should the husband allow another man to sit at the head of the table, at the head of, let me say this, at the head of his table? And see, now, and ladies, none personal, but see, we have gone so far off the deep end. We have coddled these young men. We have because single mothers, you try to bring up a young man, that it's just not possible. Sorry, just my opinion. It's not possible. But see, there's things that single women, when you're single for so long, you just think, oh, well, I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it real. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I can understand that. But in my opinion, there's certain things that you need to sway away from. And one of them is, regardless of how you feel, and let me say this. If you don't feel that your husband is the man of the house, why are you married to him? And a lot of times that comes from, I make more money, I got more education. You don't know what his situation is, but he's being a good husband, he's being a good man. But I need to cut your DICK off at the hilt, because I don't want to hurt my father's feelings. But let me explain something to you. The Bible tells you this: you shall leave thy mother and father and cleave unto as one. You are one with your family, your mother and father, when you are not married. Once you say that I do, no matter if you believe or not, you have formed a different covenant than the original mother, father, child covenant. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have formed the original covenant, a different covenant. Once you say I do, and you are in good standings with your husband, even if you make more than him, get out that notion of that. Even if you make more than him, my wife makes more than me, but she has no problem bowing down. That's why, because when she bows down, I bow down quicker, because she let me know that I am the man of the house. But I don't say, look, I don't pound my chest and all this other stuff. But she said, you are the man of this house. Even though as soon as yes, dear, yes, ma'am, yes, yes, honey, because I love you. You bow down, Like in Asia, in Tokyo, Japan, people bow. I think if she would bow in front of me, we would clash heads because I would try to be bowing quicker to her because I know she has no problem loving me. I know that she has no problem caring about me. So let me teach you something. This is gonna be a teaching moment. That woman shouldn't have said, "Can my, I like my father to sit at the head of the table." She shouldn't have said nothing because a man that is the head of the household, a humble man, has no problem, especially if he respects his elders, especially if he learns something from that woman's father, to say, "Mr. So and so, would you like to sit at the head of the table? And would you like to say a prayer for our home?" Do you see what I'm saying? Because it is his right as the man. Don't cut a man half the time doesn't have nothing to give to most of these relationships of women nowadays. Because most women, and I sound like an ignorant Negro when I say this, but y'all been dumped on, y'all been played with, you've been destroyed because you keep picking that 20% that what's that guy's Kevin Samuels. Y'all all keep on picking the 20% and swiping past the normal 9 to 5 plumber, garbage man, the 9 to 5 guy that is going to protect you. And you've been used and abused, and you say, "Well, I'm going to work on me, and then I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get my bachelor's degree." Then you go back out, and then you get used and abused again. Then I'm going to go work on myself. Then uh, I'm going to go get my doctorate. I'm going to get my master's. Then I'm going to get my doctorate. Then you work hard because you can't figure out why you keep on taking these sorry behind Jeffros. You take them into your house. You take care of them, but all they want to do is play video games. Well, I know she makes 100,000. I don't need to be working. They can't hold down a job. Then you say, "I had enough," and then now everybody in your crosshairs is no good. It's no good. So you go back to, well, my daddy this and my daddy that, and then you start using that. A real man would do this. I used to hear that mess. Oh my God. And that was before I was even enlightened or anything like that. A real man would, and then I finally had enough. I went off on one of this woman. I said, how would you know what a real man is?" And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know. How would you know? You don't even have a pair of nuts. How are you going to tell me what a real man does? Do you see where I'm coming from with this? A humble man would have said to this woman's father, "Sir, would you like to say the prayer? Would you like to sit at the head of the table?" See, we so quick to open up our mouths and not learn. Sometimes you need to shut your trap and learn something. Because most of us men, one thing I've learned, and it took a while because I kept on falling into the trap of the in a guy to tell you that you know you ain't gonna win scenario. and, and that's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about today, I most guys are falling into that trap with a no-win scenario. A while back, my wife thought I was cheating on her, and she told me she wasn't having it, and it hurt me to my core. I almost shut YouTube down. One of the people that brought me back was Mike because he said, "Look, blow it off, keep on going." And I was hurt because I'm yelling and screaming. I didn't do what you said I did. I didn't do it. Why would I do it when I'm on here yelling and screaming of how much I love my wife? I'm on here yelling and screaming how much I care about my wife. I'm yelling and screaming, I wouldn't do such a thing because I've been cheated on. I've been dumped. I've been mentally used and abused. I was a jump off. I was this and I was that. When all I wanted and all I struggled with was to be loved. And the person I was trying to get some stuff from to buy because they were African American. I didn't care if they were a man or a woman, but they were African American. I wanted to support their business. And I had to send that person a message. Sorry, I can't, do business with you. But the one of the things was, see, I know you did it because you're yelling and screaming. You see what I'm saying? A no-win situation. And I learned something that day. I learned that you will be put in relationships in no-win situations. You can give up, or you can double down, or see, I could give up, which I would have been alone again and miserable. I could double down and probably would have still eventually been alone again and miserable. Or you could shut the hell up and be supportive husband and understand that the person that you said you love, the person that you talk about all the time, still has some unresolved hurt, unresolved pain, and is broadcasting it at you. And also know that you cannot be conversating in that aspect. You can't be doing business like that, uh, because it's never going to work. That person's going to always have that because it's something that happened to them in their lives and in their situations. Being in the relationship and trying to understand what a real man, because what a real man to me is totally different to what a real man to another brother would be, to another brother. You women will never understand what it means to be a real man because you're not. I'll never understand what it means to be a woman. That's why I don't get it with these that part of the LGBTQ element of P crowd that calls women cis women or birthers or whatever, calls these derogatory names and trying to be a woman when I cannot fathom bleeding every month. I cannot fathom that pain that a woman goes through every month. I can fathom the hormonal imbalance because for some reason it happens to me. But I cannot fathom having to change from the femininity that you, as a child, in playing with dolls and doing this and doing that, and then being dumped on and dumped on and dumped on and dumped on, that the masculinity comes out. Because guess what, guys? E- Every woman produces testosterone and estrogen. And somewhere in that mix, you've got that masculine tendencies. And same thing with the guy. We produce testosterone and estrogen. And sometimes, because I trust me and trust and believe, the emotions do come out. But what I'm getting at when I say these things is you, what I learned from that situation is I was going to love her even more. I was going to love her even stronger and learn the boundaries of what defines what I was being, and I didn't realize that in her eyes, I was being disrespectful. I'm not, no, we ain't doing that no more. And it's so funny. I said it before. I stopped this lady because I knew she was gonna hit me, backing into a thing, and I walked her in there and was explaining. I understand, been there before. Just being respectful in public, and she's like, "Well, you could, can you give me a number, so I could talk to you and on the road we can conversate." No, nope. I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I ain't allowed. That ain't allowed. That ain't allowed." And was so proud because see, a lot of times you don't know what someone is doing behind your back. I said, "Ma'am, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to have a woman, even if it's just to talk about trucking. But you have a blessed day. Let me keep it moving." You see, you feel me? And that learning mechanism, that learning mechanism, you as to figure out as to be the man that I was meant to be, you have to learn, and it's harder for me to control my emotions because I've talked about it. Being an inexperienced empath, I suck up on people. I can I suck up negative energy. It's part of the person that I am, and it changes me. I hate it, but it changes me. But in past, I've let my emotions get the best of me. A lot of times, as a man, we're not allowed to tear up in front of a woman. They lose respect. You guys lose respect for us so quick just for showing our emotions. Because as an empath, my emotions hit me tenfold. Like, for example, you could be mad, but I'm enraged. It's hard. It's hard. I've lived it all my life. I a lot of times I would drink to nullify it and didn't know what it was. And now, like, that's why I did it when I finally figured out what was going on. So now I have different things to calm me down. And one of them is so funny. The reason why when I'm home I always sit out in the driveway is because it's one of the things when I started reading up on being an empath, Being outside in nature calms my soul, and it really does. And it just cracks me up. I'll be out there in the cold. I'll just be sitting out there just looking around. I'll turn the water on and watch the sprinkler go to the left and to the right. You know, learning that, and also one of the other things is just figuring out. One of the other things is figuring out healthy boundaries. You know, a lot of women see a lot of women. Okay, let me try this a different way. There was a study showing that a lot of men that go and have these call girls and um, strippers and all that crap, they just go there, and half the time they don't even have do what they do call girls for. They just want someone to listen to them. They just want someone to talk to them. And then you wonder why. Why was I cheated on? And you can see the hatred in the people's eyes. He cheated on me. Men ain't shit, and men ain't this, and men ain't that. I've heard him in other people's lives. Men ain't piss on them, and f that. I would never another. And you, first of all, you see it. You don't see it, but I saw it. One of them said, "And no, you can't move in with me," and all this stuff. Well, that should have been a red flag. He just wants you because he ain't got nowhere to go. He ain't got nowhere to go. But you see all that hatred, and because I had it. My first marriage, every time I come home, I try to do something nice for her, yelling and screaming. I remember one time I bought her, she was growing these vine type plants in the living room. And I remember it was coming close to Easter too. And I said, well, let me buy this woman a palm tree. I bought her a palm and I brought it in the house. And she did this in front of her mother. What the hell is this? What did you get me this for? What the F is that? I mean, just embarrassed me, humiliated me in front of her mother. And I'm a man of my word. I said, Negro, I will never, ever buy you anything else as long as I live. I grabbed that thing and flung it out the front door. And I remember I never would buy. And see, then you wonder why. What you wonder why men go off and cheat. It's like, well, but she don't let. She a skank and she this and she that. She whatever. But guess what? That person you call a frog and live in the project, that person listens to me. That person listens to me. It was it's a short, I think it was a TikTok video, and that's what the guy said. The wife, the woman confronted the husband, and you could see the misery in that guy's face. You could see how miserable that man was, how hurt, and and he didn't even deny it. She said, "Are you cheating on me?" She said, "Is she better looking than me?" He said, "No." He said, you know, is she thinner than me? No. And he said, she's almost the same. Then she goes, then why couldn't it just be me? And she said, and the guy said, She's kinder than you. She's softer than you. She listens to me. She doesn't call me stupid every 5 minutes. She's caring. She appreciates me. And that's when I listen to that, and what came of that was, I remember I was so afraid. My girlfriend, who later became my wife, she didn't realize that I sat down with a book, a notebook, and I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm doing everything wrong, from my personal life to my finances to my emotional well-being to my everything. I haven't done nothing right yet. I took accountability. I said, I don't even know how it feels to be alone. I don't even know. Hey, good morning, Tamika. Sorry, I seen the purple. I can see the purple. I don't even know what it means to be in a decent relationship. I don't even know, what do I really want in life. I don't even know, what do I want out of a woman, because these, you know, just looks is not enough, because it's like what do I bring to the table? I didn't even have a chair to sit down at the table. I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted, so I started writing stuff down. And I would have listened, and I would have believed anybody and everybody. And I had to check myself. And I says, you know what? One of the things is I need to learn how to be cared for or cared about. One of the things I need to learn is to understand, and that's all seriousness aside, and this is a joke. You women aren't the easiest things people to understand, but try to come close. You know what I'm saying? I had to how to learn how as to becoming the man I need to become responsible. What do you mean responsible? To pay my bills on time. To pay my bills, period. I needed to learn how to be responsible. That wasn't an easy task. I didn't understand responsibility. I need to figure out what I want, because I was, as an empath, I didn't realize that I attracted nothing but narcissistic women. I need, and they found me like blood and water, like sharks, and emotionally sucked me dry. But I need someone that's going to give me the room to find myself, find my purpose, find my understanding, and it's crazy how that happened. I had to lose everything to gain the world. The truck accident with everything burnt up, and I had to lose everything to gain the world. I had to retrain my thinking, retrain my thought. Good morning, welcome in. I see that. By how you doing, Bayou? I had to retrain my thought part, my thought patterns. Everybody's not against me. The world isn't against me. There's someone out there for all of us. Everybody's not against me. That was the hardest thing to do. I remember one of the things when when the truck was had blown up and I made it back to the hotel room and trying to figure out how I was going to get home and everything. And I cried out to God and said, "Look, I want to live." And I remember in our beginnings of our relationship, we had two people that were just so broken. She'll never admit, even to this day, that she was not broken. Two people are so broken that she would ask me, "Do you want? Hey, how about we do this?" I was like, "Okay." "How about we do this?" "Okay." "How about we do this?" "Okay." And she mentioned that a while ago. She said, "Why do you always say yes?" Because I remember praying to God, I want to do stuff. I've never done anything. I want to do something. I want to live. I want to live. Before, before, before I met Norma, you would have never. You go to my page, you see me ziplining. You would have never, ever in your natural born life seen my yellow behind ziplining thousands of feet off the ground, across valleys and whatnot. I would have never done no crap like that. But you see videos of me yelling and screaming, "Yeah, yeah, ah," yelling and screaming. I would have never did no stuff like that. But God knows. Okay, it's time to build that inner person, that lost child. God knew it's time to bring you home. It's time to build you a life. See, my wife says, I don't care if she hears it or not. I'm never do no stupid mess. I built a life with you and I ain't going no damn well. She might think never. Because I remember 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago, I cried out to God to give me a second chance. And He's given me that second chance. He's given me that life. The reason why I have so many lawnmowers and lawnmower equipment because in my marriage before that I was a people pleaser. I let my wife take everything. Everything was hers. I had nothing. These little trinkets, these little machines, these little things that I fixed, they are mine. I pay for them. That John Deere W36R is expensive as hell, but it's mine. And if I ever have second thoughts, I get on it and ride it, and I have a fucking ball with it. I have 100 plugs coming. They're they're on the way. They're being shipped. I'm going to put them in spots on the lawn. I'm regrowing my lawn. I'm resetting so I can have fun with it because it's the life that God has given me. She comes out there and helps me because it's exercise. Because you got to punch those holes in the ground with the punch holder. But instead, we have these other other men that now my my enjoyment is at home. My enjoyment is fixing things. My enjoyment is fixing our home so that she could say when my wife comes out and says, "Good job, babe. That looks great." Man, that is the one thing, the energy, the output that it's like a patent, when you pat you ever have, that dog just pat on the top of their head and they wagging their tail and they feel like they $1 million. That's me. It's the simple things that please me and the simplicity of that. But I learned, and over the years, it strengthened my resolve because and I asked him, I asked my wife, I asked her, I said, honey, am I a pushover? Am I so if am I nice? If am I too nice? And she said, who told you that bull crap? It's so funny. I almost teared up with that. I keep on saying tear. I almost teared up with that. Who told you that? It's because when I finally got in that positive environment with a positive relationship, yes, my wife don't take no crap from nobody, including me, but I know her ins and outs. I understand, and I know that she loves me. I know she cares for me. So it allowed me to grow in my own space, not in battle mode, but in relaxation to understand that, hey, I tell the story all the time. Hey, I need to learn how to pay bills. And I asked her, what do you do? She said, I have a book and I write all my bills out, the dates, how much I owe, and I stick to it. She will have $5 in the bank, but she makes sure we everything paid. And I learned from that positive. Hey, she, how you doing, buddy? Hey, I forgot. I got a at the top. The If anybody wants to come up, I got I shared the link. I keep on forgetting to say that. But I I sat there and I learned at my own pace what this means. And then God puts a married man, a real married man, not the ones that we see. Nothing personal against y'all, y'all that be on these lives talking shit about I do this and I'm not yap 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 yap. I do this and my wife blah, blah, blah. I don't because I dare you to be on a double screen or your wife next to you say that same shit that you say. uh I learned respect goes both ways. Just because I'm the head of the household don't mean shit. Because the head don't move without the neck. Do you see what I'm saying? The head don't move without the neck. Because I've done so many stupid things in my life. They said when the Bible says to cleave unto one, sometimes, not sometimes, but 99.9% of the time, you got to look to the left side of your brain, which is your wife. Hey, babe, what you think we need? What you think? And most of the time, that a woman that's been by herself, a woman that's been through hell and back, a woman that's very calculative. Oh, somebody just showed up. What's going on? Let me see who this is. Yeah. Let me see how do I do that. Uh, let's see. Did it? Okay.
We hear the philosopher.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome. Hey, first time one of the big dogs.
I'm pocket change. I'm pocket change.
Nah, you good, bro. But I just getting used to it. And and the thing that what I was saying was that a lot of times the learning process of being a man, it's so much trial and error. And when you get with somebody, it's always good to get with someone that has been married for, like my man Charles. He's always in here. He's been married for 30, I think like it's damn near 30 years. They've been together since high school. And the thing when I say that is I was so quick in the beginning to mouth off. And he was like, oh, no, 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 no. Boy, you're going to learn how to shut the F up real quick and learn how to say, yes, dear. And, it didn't click for a long time. I kept on getting into this and getting into that. And he says, boy, you ain't gonna learn. And then when when I finally learned, I told him he couldn't stop laughing. And he said, "Hey, I told you. I told you." And the thing where I'm getting at is the understanding that it's like it's like the new petty officer or the new recruit comes on the battlefield, and you're on that battlefield, and one guy says, and then one guy says, "Hey man, get down, duck." Well, why do I got to get down and duck? Ain't nobody around. And bam, 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 you get shot. Oh, I should have listened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have listened. I should have understood. And see, another thing that I learned, becoming, because I talked about it earlier. I know you weren't in it, but what I was talking about is you can't have uh, two households, or you can't have two women in a household. And what I was talking about earlier was the it was a doggone it. It was a an interview. One woman said she talked to her husband. Well, my father always on Thanksgiving, he sits at the head of the table, and he says the prayer. I said, well, hold up. And then this is what I was saying about that is this ain't your father's house. This your husband's house. And see, the fact that you brought that up shows your husband straight up disrespect because you did not accept the fact that you have left your mother and father and cleaved unto one with your husband. Now he is the head of this household. Regardless if you like it or not, he's still the head. But the head can't move without the neck. But the fact is that you brought that up because if I respect your father, if I respect your mother, if I respect them and I have a good rapport with them, the first words that will come out my mouth is when we're going to sit down to Thanksgiving dinner, Mr. So-and-so, would you like to sit at the head of the table? Because men have no problem when they give the respect to their elders. When they give the respect and say, wait a minute, that ain't your place to say that. It was my place. And not because you reminded me, but it's you give me the chance to say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, would you like to sit at the head of this table? Would you like to say the prayer? Because I know you brought up my wife in such a wonderful way. You brought up the love of my life that I want to say thank you. I want to show you that respect. You see, and women don't understand that it's more important. It's more important to show the respect than anything else, because they think that once I make more than you, once I got all these degrees, you could be Dr. So and so and be the biggest idiot out on the streets. And then, again, it's just my opinion. You could be the biggest fool because you don't know. Hey, don't go down that way. I give you a prime example. We, years ago, we went walking in Manhattan. We in Manhattan. Me and my wife. We went walking in Manhattan. She was like, "Let's go down this street." And I had to snatch her. And babe, you in New York. You in New York City. You better start walking down this street over here where these people are. Don't go down that road. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And see, and I'm not attacking nobody, but I'm just saying we're so used to the narrative that I got all this, so I know what the heck I'm talking about. But guess what? And it's just like any job. Like you go to a shipper, and you could tell the one that's got the experience. You could tell the one that don't know jack and talk to you like crap, but the other one say, "Hey, good morning, how you doing? What you got for me?"
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know the ones like okay, prime example with the lady telling her husband, well, it, out of respect, she brought it to him because she could have just easily said at Thanksgiving, "No, Daddy, you sit at the head of the table. Daddy, you say prayer like always." But by her actually coming to her husband and talking about it, that's respect right there. Because, like I said, in most cases, if you have a tradition, you're gonna always stick to that tradition. That's why, even at the head of the table, you got two ends, one for the husband, one for the wife. Now, when it comes down to it at the Thanksgiving, she could say, well, I'm going to sit next to you so my father can sit on one end, you sit on the other end, and do you want to do the prayer? Because usually at the house, my father does the prayer, but it's up to you. If you want him to do it, he can do it, or you can do it. It's more of a like you're working together, like options. But overall, if the husband says, "Well, I don't want to pray," then your father's there. Well, if the husband say, "This is my house, I'm gonna pray," I don't have a problem with him sitting at the head of the table. I prefer you to sit next to me. See, that's the whole thing of in the household. You want to be able to communicate and talk to your, significant other, because otherwise, that's our conflict. Just like you were saying, the head, and we use the head and the tail. It's just like a horse.
Yeah,
If the husband is the head, then the wife is the tail. The wife, she's the end where the legs at. She can't. The head can't go in one direction, and the tail can't go in the other direction. You know, as far as swinging around, if you want to go left and they want to go right, it's a big problem. You're just gonna be going in circles. You know, and that's a
yeah,
lot of times we have circular arguments where you can't sit down and work it out. Like I was telling guys, we was on the Miss T one time, and I was telling them, I said, well, it's kind of equal opportunity in my house. I don't consider myself the big boss, and my wife don't consider herself the big boss. It's about communication. You know,
yeah,
when it comes down to certain things, I will put my foot down if I feel confident about something versus me just saying I'm the man. I'm gonna make this decision no matter what. And my wife is not gonna follow me blindly, knowing that she knows something. That's the whole thing with communication. Let me know what you know. Let me think about it, and we work at it together.
you know what? And I'll even stand down and say I'll agree with you on that. But that's true. A lot of times I start having flashbacks when I said that I was thinking about my first marriage. I'm like, fuck F them and F the horse they rode in on. And that honestly, you said it more in a logical way. I could understand that. Because, like I said, a lot of times this morning talks is I'm actually in therapy, bro. I literally be having flashbacks because I was literally getting my heart was racing. I'm getting upset. You trying to override me with blah 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 blah. And that's what will that actually happens.
Yeah,
And we don't know what someone has been through. We don't know. We don't understand. That's why when I didn't put it up, shoot. Uh, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just like doing it. no experience, but like having fun at it. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it
Yeah,
personal. We just having fun, bro. We don't take it, and then that's what I've had people come in. They take it personal, but guess what? It's still, at least we're talking about it. At least,
yeah,
at least the thing with I come across is I take accountability, and I can agree with you. I can, you know what, that even, the way you said it, that even sound better, because
yeah. Because
go ahead.
I was gonna say this. Well, my wife, she had two kids prior to me marrying her. So she would tell me about all the, infidelity, different stuff that he was cheating and everything. So when it came down to it, I've always told every woman that I dealt with that, spite of whatever went on in the past, you got to uphold your end to not judge me according to your past, because we can't move forward together, because anything someone else did, I'm gonna be taking the blame for it. Oh yeah, my last boyfriend, he cheated on me like this. Oh, my last husband, he did me like this. I'm the new guy. I'm not the old guy. So I always tell her, I can deal with the things that I went through in the past. The question is, can you? And I always say, if you can't let me know, then I can move on. And they look at me like, move on how? I'm like, we can't be together, because I can't be held accountable for everything somebody else did. And that's how we work it out.
That happened to me. That,
Yeah.
I want a manner. That happened to me, because I told her, I said, you tell me one more time about your ex-husband, and I meant it. I said, I can f up on my own. I don't need to be compared. Don't compare me to nobody but me. I make
Exactly.
mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I did. I don't. I didn't. I didn't, and I don't compare her to those people in the past. Because if I compared her to those people in the past, we wouldn't be together.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. I'm afraid of those people because of what I let them. You see the magic word. I let them do to me. I let them do. So the new me is, I learned how to accept my mistakes. What mistakes did I make in those past relationships that I don't ever want to do again? It's the accountability to understand that we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. They say, I said it earlier, when they were talking about Charlemagne the God, but no, black men don't cheat. It wasn't the fact, and that's not saying that black men don't cheat. He was trying to redefine the narrative, because that man cheated on his wife and almost lost his marriage, and almost destroyed something, because he, somewhere in the midst of that, he didn't realize how much hurt, how much pain, how much destruction that he was wreaking. And a lot of times, we as men, we don't understand what we're doing. We don't understand what pain we're causing. We're just saying, well, all I did was this, and all. Well, that was enough. That pain that you cause is irreparable damage to that woman, that she will never trust nobody else again. And you have to understand that. And this is what I was saying. My wife, she accused me of some stuff, and I said, I told her, this is the hill I'm gonna die on. I would never do that to you, because when I say I love you, when I say I care about you, that's just not saying. I mean that. And I'm not. Like, I tell folks, get away from me. No, no, not just no, ma'am, or no. Get the f away from me. You not gonna mess this up. I said, I've messed up everything. That's why, I have my lawnmowers. I have my lawn. I have a home. I have all this stuff because of the relationship I have with that part of my woman, my life, my soulmate. That I have all that. Why am I going to be? I've done some dumb stuff, but I'd be darned. Not no, no, not today, not tomorrow, not next week. I'm not going to do it. And see, that's what I'm saying. I'm so happy that I moved to the level of get away. I'm on the level of get away from me. Don't come this way with that. Don't come over here with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And and even though, like I said, I was accused of something I know I didn't do, but I said, you know what? I took accountability for it and said, how can I not let this happen again? Well, I can't. I can't conversate with. I'll y'all. I'll let people come up on the live, but I cannot conversate personally by email or anything like that. I can't do that. I have to learn that part of the respect, that part of the understanding, because this is we've been together 8 years, but this is the first real, honest to God relationship that I've ever been in. And I love every moment of it. I love every minute of it. When I get off of here, she calls me around 7:45. I'm gonna tell her I love her. Hey baby, I love you. You sexy you sexy woman, you wonderful person. Appreciate it, and yada yada. You know what I'm saying? And you could
Yeah.
hear that she appreciate that because she giggles. If she don't giggle, she's like, yeah, right, yeah, right, ninja. So I know if I hear a giggle, I know I did the right thing. And the same thing, I was talking about yesterday, staying positive in a negative world. Right
Yeah.
after that, she must have came up on the live, and I love you, you sexy thing. I'm like, I'm acting goofy and giggling and doing the, we need that. It's like you get up in the morning, you have that coffee. We need that emotional boost to be in this world that we live in. You know what I'm talking about because you got to deal with people every day. You got to run your business. You got to do that. It's easier when people are positive and happy. It's not a good thing when someone says, "Well, this one did said this." Like yesterday, I went to this place, they got me mixed up with someone else. I'm an hour ahead, and another person was in the dock from my company, and they got me mixed up. So no, you're supposed to be at 3. I called my dispatcher. My dispatcher said, you know, well, just bring the trailer to the yard. I'll send someone else over there with it. So I told him, man, I need my paperwork back. My yard says, I got to take it to the yard, and the head guy comes out. He says, no, why don't you do this? Park your trailer over there. Another guy's bringing an empty trailer. You hook up to that. Go weigh the empty trailer. Bring me the scale back, and no harm, no whatever. And I did all that, and I was down the road heading for my next load, and they said, wait a minute, and called me up and said, you denied the load. What happened and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not what happened. And I said, you know me, I don't do it. And I send him pictures of everything. And then he says, oh, we found out it was someone else. So everything was hunky dory while I was there. As soon as I leave, you're sending these emails, and you got me confused with someone else. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean? And we have to learn to, like, normally I'm like, what the f bomb this, f bomb that. No, I didn't. So no, that's not how it went. Let me explain. And see, this is the new improved can't stop walking, because I was given time to gain. I don't have full control. Gain control of some of my emotions and put them in check in the right slot, in the right spot, in the right aspect, to figure out that's what I need to do. This is how I need to be, and this is the person that God wants me to be. And that's where I come off when I say these things. I always come back to the original part of what the discussion is, and the discussion was, learning how to be the man that I was supposed to be. And those are the things, the situations that come in our lives. We have to accept them, good, bad, or ugly. We need to accept them for what they are and what they will help us become. Because if we make a mistake, own up to that mistake. Stop blaming everybody else for it. If there's
Yeah.
something in there, I go through all my relationships. There's a whole lot I did wrong, and there's a whole lot that I accepted. You know what I mean? I accepted this. I accepted that. And I remember when I first met my wife, I started having flashbacks. And she said, and I remember one time, I said, "Oh no, you're gonna apologize. And if you don't apologize, I will drop you like a hot potato." Well, that's not fair. I said, "Life ain't fair. You're gonna apologize to me." And then and I meant it because what was said was hurtful and it hurt me to my core. And I said, I'm not going through that again. I'm not going to take that from nobody else. But now my skin is a little bit more tough. I can take the married part of it. I can take the married understanding of it. And I hope that she could take whatever from me because I look for being the one that she wants for, the rest of our lives or whatever. But,
Yeah,
that's, yeah,
I was gonna say it basically big like with accountability, even with social media. You communicating with people and stuff. It, you have to set boundaries. And that's the thing that I talk about with my wife. If I'm sending somebody messages or talking, you know, respectfully, it's strictly about what we're talking about. If I send something, it's in regards to business only. You know, it's not nothing personal. Well, what I'm saying, send it, how was your day?
oh,
No, it's strictly upon YouTube or content. Like if
yeah,
I send somebody a video, it's basically I found a video that says to enhance your audience. They have a lot of AI tools that can show you how to come up with topics. So I'm like, cool. So I might send that to somebody respectfully, if whether it's a woman, I'm not sending it, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sending it like regular business hours. I might send a little some past 8 or like 7 or 8, something like that. But no out past 10 and 11. No, I'm not doing that because out of respect, like I told my wife, when it comes down to it, this is just strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. I'm not
yeah.
trying to gain anything outside of our relationship because honestly, one of the biggest things that always prevented me from cheating with anybody I dealt with was STDs and all that stuff like that. And my wife know, like I'm big like with germs and stuff. So for me to cheat,
Ah,
that's like one of the things. Like she know that's my pet peeve. I'm like, even with condoms, you know, she was like, "You never had sex without a condom?" I was like, "Never." And she was like, "Really?" I said, "Yep. All women tried, but they failed." I said, "I'll leave you before I take off that condom." And she laughed at me and she was like, "Wow." And she's like, "I did it a couple of times, or I had the boyfriend and it was a long term relationship." I'm like, "Nope." I said, "Cause you could cheat." I said, "Until we get married, that's gonna be a thing." And like that kind of like shook her. Like, dang, this guy's real. I'm like, STDs are the worst for me. I'm like, cause all it takes is for you to one day and feel a certain way. Cause like I was explaining to her, I say when it comes to most women, the reason why most women cheat. Same thing with dudes. I said it's that comfortability. You're comfortable around somebody. They be so nice to you, and they try to play on not even on your intelligence, but play on your emotions. So when they
yep,
play on your emotions, normally that's how people end up cheating. It's like when people say I accidentally had sex. It's kind of true because you've been around this person for so long, and then they just make you feel happy. Then all of a sudden they give you a big hug and just kiss you. It's not
yep,
like, oh, I planned on kissing this person. We started having sex. No, they're breaking you down mentally, but the person who they're doing it to can't see it because you're looking at them as, oh, this is a nice person. Oh, this is a cool friend. The next thing you know, all the time planting that seed, you know.
yep, yep.
But it comes with the territory. It's like you have to be mindful, and a lot of guys and women they got to be mindful. People, have interior motives, so
Yep.
that's why I keep my distance. I'm cool. I'm nice. I'm not gonna be horrible. When I see signs, I cut it out. Like I told my wife, one time I was in the grocery store. I'm in there ordering me a sandwich. This lady comes up. She's like, "What you ordering?" Just casual talking. I'm ordering a chicken tender sub from Publix. She said, "Oh, okay." So I'm putting all my toppings on there, this and that. And she's like, "Oh, it looks good." I like, "Yeah, it looks good. Yeah." So one thing led to another. She was like, "I think I'm gonna get what you're gonna get because yours looks so good." And I was like, okay, it seemed like she's hitting on me. So the first thing I told her was, yeah, man, my wife get it all the time. I say, we might split it in fours for my kids and my wife, and we do it like that sometimes. That
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
that whole thing down. Because,
Bro,
most of the time I don't wear a ring. So that shut that whole thing down if I'm married or not or have somebody.
that that reminds me of that I said it on Miss T thing one time that they were talking about places to pick up men and they were talking about uh, Home Depot. I said, you know what? Stay your stink ass behind out of Home Depot because you're not going to get me to help you with nothing at the DIY homeland. I'm not doing it. You're not setting me up. You're not going to ruin my chance. You're not going to ruin my enjoyment of being able to go there and walk around and buy uh, buy needless pieces of tools and equipment. And like everybody walked by me and wouldn't help me put this in the truck. You need to take your big behind back in there and ask for one of them people with the orange vest on. That's their job. I'm not helping you with nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna mess it up for me. The only time that I would help someone if my wife is standing there and she looked at me, said, "Darren, go help that woman." And I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear." Because that will be, and I'm sorry to say this, why are you helping them? Oh, no, 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 I'm not. You ain't messing me up. No, 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 we ain't going there. You know what I'm saying?
But it's moderation. It's not like soon as I see the lady needs some help, I'm running over there real quick. I even tell my wife, I be like, I'm gonna go help this lady, and then she be like, don't help her. I'm like, why? And I'll put her in the same mind frame. If you're out and about and something happens to you when you want somebody to help you, I got to give her that same courtesy, just like I feel another man should give you. Like one time I stopped and helped the lady change her tire. It was two ladies out changing their tires. And, I pulled over. I said, y'all okay? And the one girl was like, we got it. And I was like, all right, cool. So the other lady who was actually changing the tire, she was like, you never deny a man who wants to help you. And she was a young girl, so she was trying to express to her, like, you don't deny men to try to help. That's not right. So I end up helping change the tire. I was on the phone with my wife and I told her, I said, "Y'all help this guy. Help these two ladies change their tire." It was nothing of it because the intent was me only just to help, and that was it. Now, if she feels some type of way after I did it, it was already done. Well, I don't want you helping anybody. Cool, that's fine. We can have a disagree or whatever type of issue, but the thing is, nobody better not never help you. That means anytime you're out and about and you have a flat tire, nobody's gonna help. Prime example. My wife caught a flat because it was something in the road. The guy in front of her got the flat, and she got a flat, and everybody else they avoided the piece of metal that was in the street. The guy jumped out. He fixed her tire. He fixed her tire first, so she can go. Then he fixed his tire. And I was like, you see how that works? You know, just because a
Yeah.
man is trying to do
And
something, it's not intentions.
no, and I'll agree with that. But my wife, she gets the cars that don't have spares. She had a BMW that did not have a. It didn't have a spare. It had those run flats, and then the run flats are actually expensive as heck. So she eventually, the tires went bad. Had to replace them with regular tires. So she got caught out there like that and had to literally, because I'm on the road, had to wait 2 hours for another tire, and then she got this Cadillac that did once again did not have a spare tire. But what I had to do, I I said enough's enough. I literally had, I went to the Cadillac dealer and they told me the price of a spare, that they didn't have a spare and a regular tire would be. I didn't do that, but I went online and got her a spare specifically made for that car, and it's in a hand or whatever. And I got, we got what AAA or whatever. So now, she's straight, but it's neither here nor there. But I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, my brother. Appreciate you coming in. We done got past my cutoff time, and just want to say appreciate you coming up and having the conversation with me. I had fun, but we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. I just want to thank everybody for coming through and coming by, and let everyone know that y'all are greatly appreciated. And as always, if you don't think nobody loves you, know that I love you and God loves you too. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right. See you later.
Deuces.